To do on this busy afternoon, it's time to go to the Simply Safe listener line. It's brought to you by Simply Safe. Protect your home and family today at simplysafe.com/sports. Lots to do. Let's start with Jimmy in Cleveland, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jim, good afternoon. Your turn. How are you today?
Hey, Chris, I can't believe it. I want to talk about the NHL, but two things. One is on a Las Vegas side, the worst way to create a diehard fan base is to give them something early and often. I mean, I can't. You mean to tell me that in 10 years, if this team isn't doing what they're doing right now, those fans are going to. There's going to be no one. They're
going to lose their passion. They're going to. There's no other way around it. They haven't. You know, here's the basic point, Jim. This is not about the team or McPhee. That city has not earned the right to have all this success in their first foray into professional sport. That's what it comes down to.
I totally agree with that. And the second thing is to use a Chris Russo phrase, hold on now. So you mean to tell me that if I'm a fan and name the city where there's already teams, even Phoenix, I'll give Phoenix that, there's no reason there should be a team in Phoenix. But you mean to tell me I'm a fan in those towns and you're going to let these guys go to the front of the line? If I'm a fan of those towns, I'm saying to Gary Bettman, look, you need to go back to the NBA because you have no idea what you're doing. You can't be giving these teams this. So there's two aspects to this. There's the fan base in Las Vegas, which I don't even believe will be around in 10 years, and then the fan base in these diehard cities. They should be outraged. I would be if I were the fans. If I cared about the NHL, I would be outraged right now. So
I think it's I think it's a problem for the NHL is going to have a big final. Vegas is going to carry some weight. This is something that we have never seen before. A first-time expansion team in any sport play for a championship. 5 months into their inception, and so this is going to have a little juice. It's going to have some hype. Vegas is good at selling this kind of crap, so this is going to be a factor. And this is really not about the team. Because that team, as I talked about at the top, opportunistic, hot goalie, they did not get lucky in any of these series. They were the better team than all three of these series. So nobody's looking to knock the current group of players on Vegas. My point is, I think the NHL made it way too easy on them. They would never admit it publicly. That's my feeling on it. And I don't think the city of Las Vegas has earned the right. You know how hard it is to try to win some championships? Ask Cleveland. You know how hard it is? And right out of the gate, a town that has no tradition of sports outside of bringing boxing matches in. None. Zero. And all of a sudden they're in the Stanley Cup final. You're not troubled by that if you're a big-time sports fan? And, you got to be careful, too, about how they're all sold out, especially in that city when the casinos may have bought 1 million tickets to hand them to their big-time rollers. So you got to be careful, especially in Vegas, where there's nothing to do. Well, there's plenty to do, but from a sports perspective, there's nothing to do. Nobody wants to go to the Las Vegas football team, all right? Or to go to some Pac-12 conference basketball tournament. They're not interested in that. Those places are empty. The UNLV basketball is shot. Nobody's interested. There is nothing to do. So all those casinos, and there's a million of them, they get something. I'm sure they made a ticket deal with the team. They get a group of tickets, and they hand those tickets out. Spend more money, lose more money with us. Here's some tickets. Go enjoy Vegas tonight. Get yourself in a good mood and come back and lose more money in the casinos. And I don't like it. Now, I might be wrong in the long term. That's how I feel about it right now. Tom in Sarasota, Florida. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Tommy, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Chris. How about yourself?
All right, Tom, I'm hanging in. Thanks. Let me hear your thoughts. Fire away.
Chris, these people haven't even suffered through a tough loss yet.
You really haven't.
In their lives.
Yeah, it's a good point.
They haven't suffered through a loss. I'm a Giants fan. You know how sweet the first Super Bowl was because of the Bizarchek fumble? You have to live through stuff like that in order to love the championship.
That's a good point.
The championship that much more. They haven't lost a game. You know how bad the other night I wanted them to score at the Winnipeg to score at the end of that game and tie it just so that they could feel it for 10 minutes. They probably would have scored again before the game ended and won it. But you have to suffer. If you don't suffer, I don't know. You're not a fan. I mean, it's short for fanatic. To me, you got to suffer.
Tom, I think you hit it right on the head. I think there's a lot of truth to that. And, you know, you and I come from a different mindset. You know, I suffered for years with those baseball giants. They didn't win for 50-something years before they went out since they went to San Francisco. Year after year, the football giant fan. How about a Knick fan who has been dealing with this nonsense since 1973, for the most part? I mean, I really do feel there is a level of pain that you need to establish with your franchise to really build some solidity to it. This, to me, it feels a little fake. But I've been saying that for a while now, so this is not something that just came across in the last 5 minutes. I have been on this theme for a while. Here's Rich in New Jersey, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Rich, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Fine, Richard.
As a hockey fan, this is embarrassing. And tell your update, guys. They're not a Cinderella team. They won 52 games. They got 109 points, I believe. They're not Cinderella. But this is par for the NHL. Look how they do their playoff seedings, where the best teams play in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's stupid. Stupid.
Look what they did with this. When they changed the draft restrictions, Vegas was exposed to 60 extra forwards and 60 extra defensemen, and you could not pull a goalie back after somebody got drafted. So all the goalies that were exposed had to stay exposed. And number three, there's precedent with the NHL because this is how stupid they are. When they expanded from 6 to 12 teams in 1967, all 6 expansion teams were placed in the Western Conference, so one of them was guaranteed to
dumbest
be in the
thing
Stanley Cup final.
Excellent point. I was going to bring that up today. That's the dumbest. Whoever came up with that idea, you know, who's the old-time commissioner? I mean, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Who in 1968 thought that when we add St. Louis, Minnesota, the Flyers, Penguins, I think Oakland had a team, and they one other one. I forget. Let's see. Minnesota, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, the Golden Seals, and the Kings. I think those are the 6. Let's put them all in the same conference so we can get one of them in a cup final, which was St. Louis the first couple of years with Scotty Bowman, and then they can get drilled by the Canadians. I mean, that is brain luck. Brain luck.